Hi everybody, this is Dark Storm Comic Reviews here with a review on Chapel issue 2. And yeah, so this is the cover. Pretty sick. We got Chapel here. It's got the sword, blood on it. Gigantic gun. Gotta love those gigantic guns. It's like super cool. And let's get into it. Let's get into this action-packed story. So, uh, we start off in Chapel from the last issue. Chapel, he got captured by like a snake. The snake's kind of caught up with him. He's trying to escape this big red snake here. Pretty gruesome, pretty cool. And the guys are like, yeah, we need to save Chapel. We need to help him out. His teammates. So they do. And one of the guys is like, Chapel, catch this grenade. He catches the grenade. He shoves it in the... It's kind of hard to see. Shoves it in the snake's mouth, beats up the snake, and then, like, the snake explodes. It's really cool. Like, pow. It's just really cool. And, we get into this scene, and, Chapel's like, okay, we gotta, because remember in the last issue I did of Chapel issue 1, they're trying to find, so they're like this military team, and Chapel's the leader. Chapel's trying to track down this guy named Colonel Black, who used to work for the U.S. government, but then fell in league with like some voodoo worshippers, and so he's kind of crazy, dark magic and all that stuff. So they're gonna go try to find Colonel Black and kill him. So they're walking away, and they find more rotted and gross and dead bodies. Oh man, I forgot to say this, but like, if you're a kid watching this, you shouldn't watch it. This book is really only for people who are 18 or over. So if you're under 18 or you're 12 or you're a kid under 18, I wouldn't recommend watching it. I really should have said that beforehand, but I forgot. I'm sorry. But hopefully y'all didn't see too much. But okay, so here's like rotting corpses and stuff. It's very bloody. It's very gross. It's pretty cool. It's what you would see in like a war type situation. I just had to say that 18 or younger thing because I need to make sure some kids don't watch this because it's a pretty violent book. But yeah, sorry about that, but I just had to say it real quick. So, but anyways, they see this cave full of rotting bodies, or like this is disgusting. Apparently, Colonel Black did all this. These and it's pretty tough stuff. I mean, these are like mutilated bodies of like children, women, and everything, and it's all in this cave, and they're witnessing all this, and it's just pretty graphic stuff. Apparently, Colonel Black was kind of behind it, and he ripped their hearts out, which I guess is kind of like a voodoo ritual. And so yeah, it's pretty rough stuff. And so Chapel's like, yeah, we need to go take this guy out. This guy's like serious business. We need to go kill him. So the team leads the way. Chapel opens up a grenade, throws it into the pile because he's like he's basically like these people don't deserve to die this way. This isn't how any human should die. So he throws a grenade in and blows the little thing up to give him a better send off. Oh. So walking through the forest, which is charred and black, which means some gunfights might have gone off, gunfire or whatever, because forest is kind of black. The art isn't as good in this issue as the last issue, in my opinion. The art was more detailed-ish. This one's kind of more, like, it's hard to make out what's kind of going on. It's okay, but it's not as good as the last issue. But anyways, yeah, they're just investigating. No, they like to say. And all of a sudden they're walking around. These like voodoo worshippers show up out of nowhere. Swords and stuff. And yeah, one of his team members gets stabbed. One of Chapel's team members. Another one gets... They're really just fighting right now. A lot of Chapel's team members are getting picked off. So just more action here. Shooting going on. And it's alright. It's not great. It's fine. But a lot of Chapel's team members are basically getting killed off. This seems kind of cool. He shoves the gun into one of the voodoo worshippers' mouth and shoots out of it. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so more fighting goes on. The voodoo worshippers kind of outnumber Chapel and his military team. More stabbing is going on, and Chapel just continues to lose more team members. Yeah, it's all right. the action could be honestly better in my opinion. But so yeah, one of the guys gets obviously stabbed. I'm trying to make it clear to you guys what's happening, but it's the way this art is drawn. Maybe it's the way I'm filming it too, but anyways, one of the guys gets stabbed. And after that, it's only Chapel and this other guy left. So there's only two of them left. So they're like, they're basically like, no matter what happens, we got to finish this. This shot's pretty cool with Chapel holding the gun. We got to finish this. We got to take this Kona black guy out. And he's like, yep, let's do it. Do or die type of situation. So get this cool. This is a cool shot actually, where he comes in with the guns blazing. Chapel's like, yippee-ki-yay, losers. And it's just like he's shooting all this stuff up. It's really, really cool. That part's awesome. And you got the other guy here. That's also really cool. And, yeah. Just more bodies and stuff. You're talking about how he lost all his teammates, and then his other, I forget his name. But yeah, the other team member he's left with, he says, "It wasn't your fault, man. You couldn't have saved it. They saved them even if you didn't want to." Then Chapel goes, "I want black. I want to feel the pain." And he goes, "Amen to that." And so, he's like, he wants revenge because obviously his team members got killed off by black. So they go in. They're investigating the place where Kona Black might be. And then all of a sudden, Chapel takes like a wrong step, and he like falls underground into like this kind of temple looking thing. And it's apparently like, there's a devil there, so obviously there's Kona Black sitting on the chair right there. And he's obviously practicing his like voodoo magic and stuff. And he basically tells him like, just a bunch of really weird, gross stuff. And he goes, talks about how he ate his dog and everything, and like, and doing weird voodoo, satanic stuff, whatever. Gross, he's like, basically he just kind of goes, you won't stop me, I'm more powerful than you are, your weapons can't kill me, and Hedgehog's like, shut up, and he just starts shooting at him, and he's like, ha ha ha, do you really think you can stop me? And, my powers are limitless, you can't stop me, I made a deal with someone more powerful than you, than any of your army guys, And he's talking about the devil. He made like basically a deal with the devil, basically. And so what happens is that he uses his like satanic magic power to like transport his body. This is his body. It's this mist right here. He transports his body, which is this mist right here, into this devil statue. And the devil statue comes alive, and it starts trying to attack Chapel. And Chapel gets out of the way, and we get a pretty decent fight scene. It's not the best, but it's pretty fun. And we see this cool scene where Chapel's like firing at the devil guy. It's a cool scene where he's just firing off a bunch of bullets. This scene's cool. You see, I love it when they show the bullets coming out of the gun. He shoots the devil, or Black, who is the devil now. And he thinks he's got him, but he apparently doesn't because the devil shows up behind him. And, they start fighting. The devil, or Kona Black, I should say. He's not the devil. Kona Black has a demon. I'm just going to call him Kona Black. Kona Black uses his sword to try to cut Chapel's gun. Then he beats the crap out of Chapel. He beats some more crap out of him, and just good action sequence. And yeah, you can obviously tell Chapel's not winning that. Chapel looks like he's on his end. And then, until it looks like I'm about to die, what do I do? And he goes, wait. So Chapel comes with the idea that he needs a body to go back to, right? Because he's in that devil form. He can't stay in that. Colonel Black cannot stay in that devil form forever, right? He can't stay in the big devil form forever. He has to return to his body at some point. So Chapel decides, why not just take out his human body form so he can have nowhere to go back to? And so that's what he does. Chapel gets a knife, throws it, and he's like, haha, that knife's not going to stop me. You can't stop me with that knife. That wouldn't hurt me. It's like, yeah, I wasn't aiming for you. I was aiming for your human body. And the knife gets chucked into Kona Black's human body. Kona Black's like, no, I can't return. And then with that distraction, Chapel tosses a grenade. near the floor. The floor explodes, and it traps the devil, or Colonel Black, who is a demon. I keep calling him the... I mean, he is a demon, but he's not the devil. So then Chapel decides to finish the job. He picks up the sword that the demon, Colonel Black, was holding. And Colonel Black, as the demon, is like, hey, we could team up together, you and me, because, you can trust me. And it's like, Chapel's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're going to pay for what you did to my teammates, and you're going to pay for what you did to my friends. And so we get this cool scene where Chapel just takes a big old slice into the devil, or into Colonel Black. Try to get this whole scene for you guys. Chapel hears him slicing into the demonized Colonel Black, and yeah, he pretty much completes his mission. So that's such a crazy looking face right there. Isn't he pretty, guys? Like, come on, look at that face. But yeah, he looks so happy, just in a psychotic way. So yeah, he takes him down. The mission is a success. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Like, they're done with the mission. Chapel's like, this, I did what I had to do, but this is going to, like, haunt me for the rest of my life. Knowing the guys I lost, this is going to just haunt me. How am I ever going to, I can never let this out to anybody. I can never tell anybody about it because it would just hurt too much because, they really meant a lot to me, my teammates. And, and so it's like, this would hurt me if I ever talked about it to somebody again. It's going to haunt me and my teammate for the rest of my life, all the friends we lost. And then we see that we're done with the flashback. He goes back to where he focuses on where he is now, chilling out in his bed, wondering about life. And this is something I need to explain to you guys. So, Chapel talks about the fact that, well, basically, this is the end of the book, and he goes, but you know what? Maybe Colonel Black was onto something. Maybe, you can find life through death. Maybe he had a good idea. Maybe I can, commit suicide and then get spiritual powers, kind of cheat death in a way and end up with some really cool powers. Which, of course, is stupid. And that's so that's a big thing about Chapel 2, by the way. Because this leads into something pretty big that happens. So, Chapel, as I've said before, he ends up killing Spawn. He's the reason Spawn dies, Al Simmons. So Chapel and Spawn, Al Simmons were like buddies. They were like military buddies. They were best of friends, and then Chapel ended up killing Al Simmons, right? And that's how Al Simmons became Spawn, basically. So, and Spawn, ended up having all those cool magical powers. Those demonic magical powers. And so Chapel was like, hey, if Al Simmons, the guy I killed, my friend that I killed, can get all these cool Spawn, hell-like powers, then why shouldn't I be able to? And so he thinks that by killing himself and going to hell, he will get the same powers as Spawn does. But in fact, that didn't actually happen, and he does actually end up killing himself. Like, he wants those Spawn powers just like his friend Al had. So he decides to kill himself to get those powers, and he ends up not getting those powers at all. So this kind of leads into that. He's like contemplating, like, well, if Colonel Black and like Al Simmons, Spawn can, my best friend that I killed can like cheat death and get these cool powers. Why shouldn't I be able to do that? So he ends up putting a bullet in his brain to try and get those same powers, which is honestly freaking stupid. But that's Chapel for you. So, and that kind of leads into that. So I just wanted to give you some context. That's what he actually goes. He's contemplating, like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to get these powers. But maybe if I talk to Spawn, he can probably help me out. And that kind of leads into that, into Spawn. So, hopefully I kind of cleared that up for some of you guys. But, yeah, that's the end of Chapel. Chapel, the first series of Chapel. It's only 2 issues long, so it wasn't that long to talk about, so I thought I'd talk about it. It's okay. It's pretty good. I like the first issue. It's very detailed. It's way detailed than this. I don't like the art in this is okay. It's fine. It's not bad by any stretch, but it's just like, it's kind of blandish. I don't know, like that right there is kind of bland, and then just, it's just kind of bland looking, compared to the last one, which was super detailed. And, it's a good series. It's fine. I actually really, I read it because I really like Chapel. I really like his look. I like the skull look of his face. You know how he has a painted skull face, and I like how he's like this good military guy. He looks really cool. He has like a skull face. He just shoots people, and he is also pretty integral to other characters like Spawn. So that's pretty cool. I don't really read Spawn, to be honest. I'm not a huge Spawn fan other than the movies and the video games he's in, but I do like Chapel. I think Chapel's a cool character. He's definitely one of my favorites in Youngblood. And this is a cool, 2-part first series. So it's not bad. It's not the best thing I've read, but it's not bad. So, yeah, and here, I want to show you guys who wrote it, obviously. So, there's just a backstory there. And talks about how he killed Spawn, his best friend. I already kind of told you about that. And then Chapel ends up getting betrayed because both Spawn and Chapel worked for a government agency, and they both got betrayed. Spawn got betrayed because the guy who was government agency who was controlling him was like, "Hey, Chapel, you need to go kill Spawn. He's your best friend, but you're gonna follow orders because you always do." So Chapel ends up killing Spawn, and then funny enough, Chapel ends up getting betrayed himself because he ends up getting injected with HIV. So yeah, the governments are pretty scummy in this book. And the guy who controls the government that they work for is Jason Wynn. He's the one who controls all that. And he's also in the Spawn movie, too, if you've ever seen the movie. Jason Wynn. He plays a pretty big part in Spawn, to my knowledge. I don't really read Spawn, so I can't really tell you. I watched the movie, but that's about it. But yeah, anyways, here are the people who did it. And Chapel was indeed created by Rob Liefeld. So, the guy who did Deadpool, so that's pretty cool. And yeah. Make sure I get everything for you guys. But yeah, that was Chapel Issue 2. It's a good book. It's a good first series. I do own issues of the second series, which I'll probably cover too. It's a good two-parter. There's 3 series there. It's first series, which is this book, number 2 and number 1, and that's it. That's all they did. There's a second series, which is 7 issues long, and there's a third series, which is like an issue long, like 1 issue. So this first series was only 2 issues, because it was just about a short story in Chapel's life. So yeah. A lot of the characters were interesting, obviously. They were fine. And like I've said before, a lot of my favorite stories are just the simple, straightforward kind. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be interesting. You don't have to have deeply interesting characters for me to get invested. Like, you can just make it about action and just simple storytelling, and I'm cool with it. So, it doesn't need to be deep, honestly, for me. But yeah, that was Chapel, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this is a Dark Storm Comic Reviews signing off.